Let's move on to Fernando Alonso. And we've got a couple of questions that have come in regarding what happened to him yesterday, both the crash with Lance Stroll and do any of us think that Fernando should have got driver of the day? And then a second question from, I think, an anonymous questioner, which was asking why Alonso got punished post-race. This is the topic we touched on earlier. I think these are all questions we don't know the answers to.
Definitely. Those last-minute moves down the straight like that, always, we've seen so many times where it was almost an accident. Verstappen really started it off, this trend in the last decade or so when he first came in on Toro Rosso and he started doing it to Raikkonen and Ferrari at Spa. That was when they started going soft on these changes of direction. And I feel you should really come down harder on Stroll, on drivers that do that sort of thing. Interestingly enough, Alonso said it was just a racing incident afterwards, but I think he said that because he's going to Aston Martin next year and he's got Stroll as his teammate. Those last minute changes, and this is the accident here, was you as a driver when you're following someone, you can't do anything about it. You cannot react fast enough to those sort of things, and it's so dangerous. And I think 3 grid penalty is not enough. I think you should get a 10 grid penalty. That's how strongly I feel about these last minute changes of directions down the straight. Now, on the second part of this first question, Alonso's drive, fantastic. I mean, you go to the barrier like that. I thought definitely that car's done for the day. Fernando thought the car was done for the day, but this is, the way he drove afterwards on the hard tires, the way he had to make those hard tires last so long, show that pace, run in dirty air, make the overtakes, and still finish 7th. That's fantastic.
He started 14th, didn't he?
And for me, if he was a young driver, everyone would be going, get him into a top 3 car. Get him into a top 3 car. And he's had these sort of drives all year, and it's such a shame that he's not in a race-winning car.
Started 14th, was down to 17th after that crash, finished 7th on the road, and then, of course, we heard some hours after the race, Lee, that he had this 30-second penalty, which puts him outside the points. What's your view on that? I think we know what our view is.
Yeah, I think it's a ridiculous situation. But I actually said straight after the race to David Coulthard when I was presenting, I said, what amazes me about drivers is if that happened to you on the road, you would be traumatized. You'd park up, you'd be thinking this car is done for, you would get out. And actually, on Alex's point, DC said to me, and a lot of drivers in Formula One, your younger drivers might have thought, let's park this up. Not Fernando. Fernando is on another level. He would know instantly. The team would have the data. They have decided that the car is okay. He obviously came in. What's interesting is that he then got this retrospective penalty. And that's got really messy because I'm just looking at the statement now. Alpine say that the technical delegate considered the car to be legal afterwards. The FIA have it within their capacity to bring out a black and orange flag. They didn't do that. They had any number of laps in which to do that, and they didn't do it if they were so concerned. So what happened after the race was Haas put in 2 appeals, one against Alpine about Fernando Alonso's wing mirror, the other one against Red Bull and Sergio Perez end plate. The Sergio Perez one was thrown out. The Alpine one was held up. I just think it's a mess. You've now, by all accounts, got the stewards saying that they were hugely disappointed that a black and orange flag wasn't put out. So who are they having a go at? Are they having a go at the race director? It's a mess.
Are we watching Drive to Survive here, or were we actually watching the US Grand Prix? Maybe there's been a confusion in what was broadcast. Maybe it was the Brad Pitt movie we were watching, being slightly tongue-in-cheek. And I'm going to propose
that... There's a lot going on in the FIA just now, isn't there? That's the thing. I mean, it just seems to be every race. There's a decision which overshadows great racing.
Yeah. I think, so Alonso for driver of the day, and I'm going to put forward Pat Fry as technical director of the day for building a car that's capable of smashing into a wall sideways and then going on to overtake 10 cars as it was before he got the penalty.